Get cold next week.
We'll see.
The 20th. I hope they're right.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to Today, brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver. Today is my day.
The 8th.
Okay, here we go. My event happened today was a product was released that had been invented. It is something that we couldn't have Christmas without it. You can't paint a car without it.
Lead.
No. How the hell can you not have Christmas with lead?
Something in the lights.
No.
You can't paint a car without it.
You can't paint a car without it. You use it
I'm sure.
every time that you've painted. There would be no Christmas without it. Well,
Plastic wrap?
there'd be no there would be no wrapping without it.
Tape.
Scotch tape.
Yeah.
Scotch tape was invented by a gentleman named Richard Drew, and he worked for 3M. Do you know what 3M is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the people that make Scotch tape.
Do you know what 3M stands
3M.
for?
No, I don't know what it stands for.
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. I just found this out recently, too. I didn't know. I always heard the 3M number, but I didn't know what it was. Anyways, Richard Drew, a 3M engineer, developed the first transparent sticky tape in St. Paul, Minnesota, with a material known as cellophane. What happened was people would paint cars in 1930. This is 1930. And what they would do, they'd put the tape on it like if there was going to be two colors. And then when they pulled the tape off, they'd have a big open deal, so they'd have to go back real small and have to paint with something else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've been there.
So he come up with this Scotch tape. Now, Scotch was a term for a tightwad, basically. And he told...
Are the Scotch
Yep.
inherently tight? The Scottish people?
That I don't know. But anyways, that's where the name Scotch came from. So what happened was when they did this tape, 3M would only put half of the tape on it, one to stick it on with it. And his buddies were like, tell him to quit being Scotches about this and tape the whole thing.
Huh.
And he come up with a new adhesive on it. And when he did, it was strong enough to make it stick, but it wasn't strong enough to remove the paint.
Right.
And it would come off, just come off easily. And that's where they come up with the Scotch tape. We all use Scotch tape. And then he designed the tape dispenser for the Scotch tape. You know, the thing that's got the tape in it, you pull it off and it's something. Scotch tape is a product we still use. Now they've got where you can hang pictures with those things you put on the wall and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting because that's a product that everyone uses. And without Scotch tape, can you imagine the little things that we do that we don't think about Scotch tape on?
Stapler.
You can't staple on when you're doing that paint shit. I mean, you could. Imagine trying to take your tape off of a Christmas package. Anyway, Scotch tape was my product that was designed. Now, my next was the person who was born today. I have a lot of respect for this guy because he is inherently passionate about what he believes in.
Mark Cuban.
Oh, he's an idiot too, but a very wealthy one. This guy is a liberal. He is probably the most successful liberal politician in the history of the United States.
Sanders.
Yes, Bernie Sanders. And I think it would be hard to find someone that's been more successful as an independent turned Democrat than he is.
I would agree.
Guess how many jobs he's had in his life?
0.
He actually was a carpenter for a while.
Ah, okay.
And he really believes the things he believes in. He believes in wholeheartedly. There's no doubt about it. I don't understand how. I do, as I've read more and more stuff on him. He's grew up Jewish, but he doesn't really believe in religion. He believes in God. He believes we should be kind to each other. He believes we shouldn't turn our back on people that are struggling. But as a Jew, he supports all the Muslims, which does not make sense to me. I've still never have understood that. It's kind of like the gay people for Muslims. I don't get that. If you're gay and you support the Muslims, they're going to throw your ass off of a building. But anyways, he's never really had a real job. He grew up in New York City. He decided he wanted to live in the rural area, so he moved to a little small town in Vermont that had 88 people. Went to work there, and he made a living by making political tapes in the early 70s. He joined a commune. He was there 3 days. Guess what they did?
Kicked him out.
Do you know why?
Fraternizing with the women.
Not working.
Ah.
He didn't do his share. And they said, the guy that was the head of the commune said, if Bernie was around, anybody within his reach or in his orbit was not getting anything done. So after 3 days, they told him to hit the road.
You got to go.
Moved to Burlington, Vermont, and ran for office. And got elected as mayor because the guy that was in the campaign against him didn't want to run against another People's Party progressive, so he didn't run, and he withdrew, and Bernie became mayor. Bernie was actually voted one of the top mayors in the United States. He did a lot for their, they've got a big lake that goes through there. Their waterfront, the railroad company wanted to come in and build these high-end condos and stuff, and he goes, you're not going to mess up our town. Kept the small businesses there. Done a lot of good things.
Good for Bernie.
Let me tell you something else about Bernie. Bernie voted against the Brady Bill. He did not want you to have to do checks on guns. Mm-hmm. He was very, very pro-gun because he's in Vermont and a lot of hunters up there.
Yeah.
So he had some things he did, but he's also a socialist. He's really good about giving everyone else's money away while he accumulated 4 homes in his life. But anyways, Bernie Sanders. I'm not saying Bernie Sanders could have ever won an election as president, but he should have been the Democratic nominee in 2020.
Yeah.
He bailed both times out. In 2016, he ignored the emails. If he would have really pressed her on that, he might have won the against Hillary, and he damn sure would have won it in 2020. He was leading when he dropped out to give it to Joe Biden. He's a Democratic shill in my ways, but there's a lot of things that Bernie did that I really agree with him on. I mean, there's some things that he did and he was passionate about it. When he was in high school, he ran for senior class president and he got third. But one of the things he did was he was wanting to take a lot of the kids from that senior class to give money to orphans of the Korean War. So there's a lot of things I could get behind Bernie on. He's a whack job, and that's not one of them. But anyways, Bernie Sanders was my person born today. My person who died today is probably one of the most controversial governors in the history of the United States. Ever.
Controversial how?
Well, it was my way or the highway. He told his lieutenant governor, if you don't like it, get the shit out of the way, get out of the way. He did things his way. You're probably not going to know him, but he served as the 40th governor of Louisiana from 26 to 32.
Nope, don't know him.
Then he became a United States senator. He had him tear down the governor's house in Louisiana to build one that looked like the White House because he wanted to know what it's like to live in that and feel. So he'd have when he become president, he would know. His name was Huey Pierce Long. Was born on August 30th, 1893, near Winfield, Louisiana. Dropped out of school. Become a traveling salesman. Went to seminary school at Oklahoma Baptist University for 1 semester. Didn't like it. Didn't want to be a preacher. Was a salesman. Went to the University of Oklahoma College of Law for a semester in 1912. Borrowed $100 from his brother. Lost it in gambling houses. Met Rose McConnell at a baking contest. He had promoted to sell coatline shortening. The two began a 2.5-year courtship and married in April of 1913 at the Gayoso Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. On their wedding day, Long had no cash with him and had to borrow $10 from his fiancée to pay the officiant. Shortly after that marriage, Long revealed to his wife his aspirations to run for a statewide office, the governorship, the Senate, and ultimately the presidency. The Longs had a daughter named Rose. She was from 1917. She died in 06. 2 sons, Russell Long, who became a U.S. Senator, and Palmer Long, who became an oil man in Shreveport, Louisiana. Long enrolled at Tulane University Law School in New Orleans in the fall of 14. This guy's taken one semester of college. Went to Tulane. After a year of study that concentrated on the courses necessary for the bar exam, he successfully petitioned Louisiana Supreme Court for permission to take the test before its scheduled June 15th date. He was examined in May, passed, and received a license to practice law. According to law, I came out of that courtroom running for office. He had a big problem with Standard Oil. He had invested $1,000 that he had somehow gotten, which is equivalent to $18,000 today, on a well that struck oil. The Standard Oil Company refused to accept any of the oil in the pipelines, costing Long his investments. This episode served as a catalyst for Long's lifelong hatred of Standard Oil. He fought them on everything. When he was governor, he taxed shit that they done. He wanted the pipelines to be part of the people. Now, he done a lot of really good things too. And that's why people liked him. He was a very Donald Trumpish type of politician. The working people liked him. He was in for them. The rich people hated him because he was exposing all their fraud they done. But anyways, Huey Long was assassinated when he was a senator. And I'm going to get down to it
Probably
now.
by Standard Oil.
He blamed him for everything. Anyways, I'll tell you how bad it was. He was governor, and when he was governor, he ran for Senate of Louisiana, U.S. Senator. He won. He didn't vacate the governorship for 2 years while he was still senator. He said, they don't really need me in that Senate right now. I can still be governor. The Louisiana is not missing out by me not. So he stayed on as governor for 2 years and wouldn't vacate it. Then when the lieutenant governor come in to be governor, he had the Coast Guard, or the National Guard arrest him. So he was trying to do a coup d'etat on his place. On September 18th, 1934, Long traveled to September 8th, 1935, Long traveled to the state capitol to pass a bill that would gerrymander the district of an opponent. Judge Benjamin Pavey, who had held his position for 28 years at 9:20 p.m. just after passage of the bill, effectively removing Pavey, the judge's son-in-law, Carl Weiss, approached Long and, according to the generally accepted version of events, fired a single shot with a handgun from 4 feet, striking Long in the torso. Long's bodyguards, nicknamed the Cossacks, or Skull Crushers, then fired at Weiss with their pistols, killing him. An autopsy found Weiss had been shot at least 60 times.
Whew.
Long ran down a flight of stairs and across the Capitol grounds, hailing a car to take him to Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. He was rushed to the operating room where surgery closed perforations in his intestines, but failed to stop internal bleeding. Long died at 4:10 a.m. on September 10th, 31 hours after being shot. According to different sources, his last words were either, "I wonder what will happen to my poor university boys," or "God, don't let me die. I have too much to do." I have no idea where they come with that. Over 200,000 people traveled to Baton Rouge to attend Long's September 12th funeral. His remains were buried in the grounds of the Capitol. A statue depicting Long was constructed on his grave. Although Long's allies alleged he was assassinated by political opponents, a federal probe found no evidence of conspiracy. Long's death brought relief to the Roosevelt administration. They were doing the.
I would say it was probably a political opponent.
I would too, and he was really big on the what was it called, the what was it at the Great Depression they did the act. God dang, I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, FDR was doing this big where they were putting everybody to work deals. They were doing all the government jobs, a Recovery Act or something. I can't remember. It wasn't the Recovery Act, but anyways. Whatever that act is, I went blank on it. He fought it at every deal. It was trying to take money from the rich, or making rich people richer is what he was saying. Anyways, Long's death brought relief to the Roosevelt administration, which would win in a landslide in the 36 election. He was going to run for president. Fairly publicly admitted his apprehension of campaigning against Long. Always laughed Huey off, but I did not feel that way about him. Roosevelt's close economic advisor, Rexford Tugwell, wrote that when he was gone, it seemed that a beneficent peace had fallen on the land. Father Coughlin, Reno, Townsend, etc. were all pygmies compared with Huey. He'd been a major phenom. Tugwell also said that Roosevelt regarded Long's assassination as a provincial occurrence. Evidence later surfaced that suggests Long was accidentally shot by his own bodyguards. Proponents of this theory insist Long was caught in the crossfire as his bodyguard shot Weiss, and a bullet that ricocheted off the marble walls what killed him. Anyways, I'm trying to look at what the hell it was called. It's going to drive me nuts now trying to figure out what this damn... Anyways, I guess it doesn't really matter. But anyways, whatever FDR had done, it's what they built the Tennessee Valley Authority and all that stuff was built on. And it's going to drive me crazy. The New Deal. The Great New Deal is what it was called. First 100 days of Roosevelt's presidency in the spring of 33, Long's attitude towards Roosevelt and the New Deal was tepid. Aware that Roosevelt had no intention of radically redistributing the country's wealth, Long became one of the few national politicians who opposed Roosevelt's New Deal policies from the left. He considered them inadequate in the face of escalating economic crisis, but still supported some of Roosevelt's programs in the Senate, explaining, whenever this administration has gone to the left, I have voted with it. Whenever it has gone to the right, I've voted against it. So anyways, he was for the people. Anyways, that's Huey Long. And that was my today. God bless you and have a great day.
Bye-bye.